West Palm Beach had always been Naomi's sanctuary, a sun-soaked stretch of coastline where the wealthy hid their secrets behind manicured hedges and yacht clubs. The city pulsed with a rhythm all its own, the lazy sway of palm fronds in the trade winds, the distant hum of speedboats slicing the intracoastal, the salty tang of ocean air mingling with the perfume of hibiscus blooms. It was here, in the shadow of Worth Avenue's glittering storefronts, that Naomi had built her life, a successful event planner curating flawless escapes for the elite, her days filled with linen swatches and seating charts, her nights haunted by what she'd buried deepest. She'd met Ethan 3 years ago at a charity gala on Clementi Street, where the air buzzed with jazz and the clink of heirloom jewelry. He was everything her family approved of, a banker from Old Palm Beach money, with the easy smile that masked his ambition, and a family estate that sprawled like a postcard along South Ocean Boulevard. Their courtship was a whirlwind of brunches at the Breakers and sunset sails off Peanut Island, picture perfect, the kind of romance that filled society pages and silenced whispers. But beneath the lace and laughter, Naomi carried a fracture, a quiet ache she'd learned to ignore since her college days at Rollins, when a stolen kiss under Spanish moss had cracked open her world. Mila was that crack. They'd met in a dive bar off Dixie Highway, the kind of place where locals nursed cheap beers and tourists never ventured. Naomi had wandered in after a brutal client meltdown, seeking anonymity in the neon glow. Mila was behind the bar, a transplant from Brooklyn with ink-black hair cropped close to her scalp, green eyes that pierced like sea glass, and arms corded from hauling kegs. She was 28, unapologetically queer, with a laugh that cut through the smoke like sunlight. "Rough day, Red?" Mila had asked, sliding a whiskey neat across the scarred wood. Naomi, 32 and fraying at the edges, had spilled her guts, about the pressure from her mother, the endless parade of eligible men, the way her heart rebelled against the script. What started as late-night confessions evolved into something electric. Stolen weekends in Mila's cramped apartment above a tattoo shop on Clematis, where they'd dance to old Motown records on a thrift store turntable, bodies close in the dim light filtering through gauzy curtains. They'd drive the A1A at dawn, windows down, wind whipping their hair as they chased the horizon toward Jupiter Inlet. Mila taught Naomi to surf off Juno Beach, her hands steady on Naomi's waist as waves crashed around them, whispering, "Feel that? That's freedom, baby. No one's watching." And in those moments, Naomi believed her, believed she could rewrite her story, step out of the gilded cage her upbringing had forged. But fear is a tide that pulls relentless. Naomi's mother, Evelyn, a steel-haired widow who ruled their Flagler drive home like a dowager queen, had cornered her one Easter brunch. "Darling, we've come so far. Don't throw it away on whims." Ethan's family, with their golf club memberships and political donations, expected an alliance that burnished legacies. And Naomi? She convinced herself it was love, or close enough, a comfortable harbor after years adrift. So she called it off with Mila over the phone, voice shaking as she lied, "It's not you. It's this life. I can't drag you into it." Mila's silence on the line had been a gut punch, followed by a soft, "I get it. Be happy, Naim." Then nothing. No texts, no drive-bys. Just a ghost in the rearview. Now, 2 years later, here they were. The wedding at the Okeechobee Park Pavilion was Naomi's masterpiece. White tents billowing like sails, fairy lights strung through live oaks, a string quartet playing Vivaldi as guests in seersucker and floral sheets mingled. The air smelled of plumeria and grilled shrimp from the past hors d'oeuvres. Ethan, dashing in his navy tux, had just finished his toast, charming anecdotes about their first date at the Kravis Center, when Naomi's facade splintered. The toasts blurred into a roar in her ears, Ethan's hand heavy on her knee under the table, the weight of 200 expectant eyes pressing down. She saw it then, not a celebration, but a sentencing. The champagne glasses hit the ground first, then her napkin, then the words. "I can't do this." The garden fell silent, save for the lap of water against the nearby canal and a mockingbird's trill. Ethan turned, his face paling under the lanterns. "Naomi." "What?" Guests murmured, Evelyn rising from her seat with a gasp, her pearls clacking like judgment. Naomi Elizabeth, what on earth? And then, from the shadows at the wrought iron gate, a figure stepped forward. Mila. In a simple black sundress that hugged her athletic frame, scuffed boots dusted with beach sand, her hair tousled as if she'd driven straight from the shore. She hadn't planned to come, had sworn off this madness after scrolling the wedding announcement in the Palm Beach Post. But the pull was magnetic, a riptide she couldn't fight. She'd parked her beat-up Jeep on Forest Hill Boulevard and walked the rest of the way, heart hammering, telling herself it was closure. One last look. Now, as Naomi's eyes locked on hers across the lawn, Mila felt the world tilt. Naomi, she said, voice steady despite the storm inside. Security, two burly guys in ill-fitting polos, moved toward her, but Naomi's hand shot up. Wait. It was barely a breath, but it halted them. The bride stood, her gown pooling like spilled moonlight, and took a step toward the gate. Whispers rippled, who is that? Some crazy ex. Lesbian drama, how tacky. Ethan followed, confusion etching lines around his mouth. Babe, what's going on? Do you know her? Naomi's throat tightened, memories flooding, Mila's fingers tracing her spine in the quiet hours, the way she'd murmur poetry from Pablo Neruda against Naomi's ear. Everyone, this is Mila. The name hung in the air, heavy as humidity. Evelyn's face twisted in horror. The bartender. Oh, God, no. Mila crossed her arms, chin lifted. I wasn't crashing. I was leaving. But then. She trailed off, gesturing to the wreckage of glasses. A wry smile tugged her lips. Looks like the party's over anyway. The quartet faltered to a stop, the violinist lowering her bow with wide eyes. Guests shifted, some pulling out phones, the glow of screens like fireflies in the dusk. Naomi closed the distance, her heels sinking into the grass. Up close, Mila smelled of salt and sandalwood, that familiar ache blooming in Naomi's chest. Why are you here? She whispered, voice breaking. Because I couldn't not be. Mila's green eyes searched hers, raw vulnerability cracking her tough exterior. I saw the paper. Thought maybe. I don't know. That you'd need a lifeline. Ethan approached, hand outstretched like he was defusing a bomb. Look, miss, I don't know what this is, but... It's everything, Naomi cut in, turning to him. Her voice rose, carrying over the canal's murmur. Ethan, I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. But this, it's been a lie. From the start. The words landed like stones in still water. Ethan's face drained of color. What do you mean, a lie? We've planned this for months. Your family. My family doesn't own me. Naomi's eyes welled, but she held Mila's gaze, drawing strength from it. I love her. I always have. Gasps echoed. Evelyn clutched her chair, whispering furiously to a cousin. Aunts fanned themselves with programs, the embossed gold script, Naomi and Ethan forever, now a cruel joke. Mila stepped closer, her hand brushing Naomi's, electric as the first touch years ago. Naam, you don't have to. I do. Naomi squeezed her fingers, the simple act a declaration. 9 minutes ago, I was walking down that aisle, and it felt like drowning. Now I can breathe. The security guards exchanged glances, unsure. Ethan backed away, hands up. This is insane. Call it off. Here. Now. Yes. Naomi's voice steadied, the drama unfolding like a scene from one of those indie films she'd binge on rainy nights with Mila. I can't marry you. It's not fair to you, or me, or anyone. Chaos bloomed. Phones clicked furiously, Evelyn's wail piercing the night, you'll ruin us. Think of the scandal. Guests milled, some heading for the exits, others clustering like gawkers at a car crash. But in the eye of the storm, Naomi and Mila stood, hands linked, the pavilion's lights casting long shadows that danced like conspirators. As the string quartet packed up their stands, Mila pulled Naomi aside, into the shelter of a banyan tree whose roots twisted like veins across the earth. "You sure about this?" she murmured, thumb stroking Naomi's knuckles. "It's not just tonight. It's everything after." Naomi leaned in, forehead to Mila's, the scent of orchids clinging to her veil. "I've spent years pretending. No more. If that's with you. Or without. At least it'll be real." They lingered there, the world receding to the rustle of leaves and the distant crash of waves from Singer Island. But betrayal's shadow loomed, Evelyn's fury, Ethan's wounded pride, the social fallout that would ripple through Palm Beach's tight-knit circles like ink in water. For now, though, it was enough. A beginning, fragile as sea glass, glinting in the fading light. The fallout hit like a squall off Lake Worth Lagoon, swift and unrelenting. By morning, Naomi's phone was a battlefield of voicemails, Ethan's, laced with hurt betrayal. "How could you blindside me like that?" "After everything," Evelyn's, venomous and shrill, "you've shamed us all. Don't come home until you've come to your senses." Society pages buzzed with leaked photos, headlines screaming, "Palm Beach heiress dumps groom and lesbian twist," from the glossy pages of Palm Beach Illustrated to the snarky threads of local Facebook groups. Naomi holed up in a boutique hotel on Royal Poinciana Way, the kind with crisp white linens and ocean view balconies, but even luxury couldn't dull the ache. She paced the room in yoga pants and a faded Rollins tee, the gown discarded in a heap like shed skin. Mila had crashed there too, after driving Naomi from the pavilion in her Jeep, the radio tuned low to WBTT's soulful R&B to drown out the silence. They talked until dawn, halting confessions, laughter edged with tears, then collapsed into sleep, tangled in 600 thread-count sheets, hands intertwined like lifelines. Waking to sunlight slanting through the shears, Naomi watched Mila sleep, her face softened, lips parted, the faint scar above her eyebrow from a bar fight in her wilder days. At 28, Mila was all edges and fire, a graphic designer now freelancing for indie bands, her apartment a riot of vinyl records and half-finished canvases splashed with abstract waves. She'd moved to West Palm 5 years ago chasing sun and reinvention, but Naomi knew the truth. Mila ran from a fractured family up north, a father who called her disappointment, and a mother who pretended not to hear. "You're staring," Mila mumbled, eyes cracking open, green and sleepy. "Can't help it." Naomi traced her jaw, the stubble rough under her fingertips. "Last night. It feels like a dream. More like a hurricane." Mila sat up, sheets pooling at her waist, revealing the tattoo of a compass rose on her collarbone, north pointing toward freedom. "You okay? Really?" Naomi hesitated, the weight of consequences pressing in. Her business, Name Events, thrived on trust and referrals from the very crowd she'd just alienated. Clients canceling left and right, the Kennedy cousins' vow renewal, the hedge fund bar mitzvah. Scared, she admitted. But free. For the first time. They ventured out that afternoon, masking up against the midday blaze, strolling the flagstone paths of the Palm Beach Lake Trail. Cyclists whizzed by, dog walkers nodded politely, but Naomi felt eyes, judging, curious. At a gelato stand near the Bethesda fountain replica, they shared a cup of pistachio, spoons clinking like toasts. Mila licked a drip from her thumb, grinning. "Remember that time we snuck into Norton Museum after hours? You in that little black dress, me with a fake keycard from work." Naomi laughed, the sound bubbling up like relief. "You almost got us arrested. But yeah. Best night." As they wandered toward the pier, the ocean a vast indigo canvas, Mila's phone buzzed, a client, then another. Her freelance life was feast or famine, but lately, gigs for queer-owned startups had trickled in, small affirmations in a city that tolerated but rarely celebrated. "Speaking of," she said, pocketing it. "I got a lead on illustrating a book about queer icons in Florida history. Women like us, hidden in plain sight." Pride swelled in Naomi's chest. "You deserve that. More than deserve. But the idol shattered that evening. Evelyn arrived unannounced, sweeping into the lobby like a force of nature, her Chanel suit impeccable despite the drive from Flagler. "Naomi Elizabeth Harper," she hissed, spotting them at a corner table over iced teas. "We need to talk. Now." Mila tensed, but Naomi squeezed her hand under the table. "Mother. This isn't the time. It's never the time with you anymore." Evelyn's eyes flicked to Mila, disdain curling her lip. "And you. Encouraging this madness. Have some self-respect." "Self-respect." Mila's voice was low, dangerous. "Lady, I have plenty. More than playing pretend for a society that'd sooner bury you." Evelyn's cheeks flushed. "You think this is easy? I've protected you your whole life, from whispers, from scandal. Your father would roll in his grave." Naomi stood, voice steady. "Dad wanted me happy, not perfect. And this, us, is happy." She gestured between her and Mila, the word, us, a quiet revolution. The confrontation spilled into the courtyard, palms rustling overhead like uneasy spectators. Evelyn unloaded, the cancelled vendors, Ethan's humiliated family threatening lawsuits for the deposit, a disgrace to the Harper name. "You'll lose everything," she warned. "Your home, your career. Is she worth it? This phase?" "It's not a phase." Naomi's eyes burned. "I loved Ethan, as a friend. But Mila. She's my heart. And if that costs me, then so be it." Mila stepped forward, voice softening. "Mrs. Harper, I get it. Protecting your own. But love isn't a ledger. It's messy, yeah, but it's real. Naomi's choosing that. Let her." Evelyn wavered, the steel cracking for a flicker, regret, perhaps, for her own loveless marriage, the compromises that hollowed her. "You're throwing away your future." But her tone held less venom, more plea. As she drove off in her Lexus, taillights fading into the twilight, Naomi sagged against Mila. "That was brutal." "Yeah." Mila pulled her close, chin atop her head. "But you slayed it. Warrior queen." The next weeks were a gauntlet. Naomi's inbox overflowed with vitriol, anonymous emails calling her a homewrecker, attention seeker, mingled with tentative support from old college friends who'd hidden their own truths. She downsized her office on Rosemary Avenue, pivoting name events toward inclusive events, queer pride mixers at the Blind Monk, vow renewals for couples like them on Singer Island beaches. It was scary, starting over at 32, but exhilarating, like catching that perfect wave. Mila, too, faced ripples. Her bar buddies ribbed her mercilessly, wedding crasher, huh? Bold move, but deeper cuts came from clients wary of drama. Yet she poured it into her art, sketches of Naomi laughing under moonlight, their hands laced against a stormy sky. One night, over takeout from Avocado Grill, she slid a portfolio across the coffee table. "For you. Our story." Naomi flipped through, tears blurring the pages, raw, vibrant, capturing the ache and the joy. "It's beautiful. You're beautiful." Their kiss that night was slow, reverent, no rush, just rediscovery. Lips meeting soft as sea foam, hands mapping familiar paths with new wonder. They fell into bed, the ceiling fan whirring lazy circles, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces long separated. It was intimacy reborn, whispers of "I love you" traded like vows in the dark. But conflict brewed darker. Ethan, nursing wounds in his family's Jupiter compound, reached out via text, "We need to talk. Foreclosure." Naomi agreed, meeting him at a quiet cafe on Dixie, the one with mismatched mugs and strong coffee. He looked gaunt, eyes shadowed. "I knew something was off," he admitted. "The way you'd zone out, sketching hearts in your planner. I thought maybe kids would fix it." Guilt twisted Naomi's gut. "I'm sorry." You deserved better than half of me. He nodded, bitter smile. That woman, Mila. She the reason. Yes. But it was always there. I was too scared to see. Ethan leaned back, drumming fingers on the table. Scared. Yeah. Me too, I guess. Dad's pushing the merger, the legacy crap. This wedding was armor. He paused, voice dropping. Don't let fear win, Naomi. Even if it's not with me. His absolution was a balm, but betrayal's sting lingered, not his, but her own, for the lies she'd told them both. Driving back to Mila's, windows down to the briny breeze, Naomi felt the tide turning. Yet Evelyn's silence grew ominous, a gathering storm. It broke at month's end, over a forced family dinner at the Harper estate. The dining room gleamed with crystal and silver, ghosts of holidays past hovering in the chandelier's glow. Evelyn had insisted, one chance to make this right. But as courses came, bisque, then mahi-mahi, tension thickened like fog off the lagoon. You're seeing her still? Evelyn asked, fork poised. Yes. Naomi met her gaze. And it's serious. Aunt Lydia, tipsy on Chardonnay, snorted. Serious. Darling, at your age. Find a nice man, settle down. Mila wasn't there. Naomi had begged her to stay away, but her absence amplified the void. This isn't about age or settling, Naomi said. It's about truth. Evelyn slammed her napkin down. Truth. Your truth destroys us. I've fielded calls, investors pulling from your father's old firm because of the family instability. We're Harpers. We endure. Endure. Naomi's voice rose, echoing off wainscoting. Or suffocate. Dad endured, and it killed him, heart attack at 58, chasing approval he never got. Silence crashed down. Evelyn's face crumpled, the dam breaking. He loved you. Wanted the world for you. Then let me have it. Naomi stood, chair scraping. With Mila. Or without family. Your choice. She stormed out, the French doors banging, gravel crunching under her tires as she fled to Mila's. Collapsing into her arms, sobs racking her, Naomi whispered, I think I lost her. Mila held tight, rocking gently. You fought for you. That's winning. But the climax loomed, betrayal's final twist uncoiling like a serpent in the garden. 2 days later, Naomi's assistant burst into her makeshift office, a rented space above a yoga studio, with a manila envelope. This came for you. No return address. Inside, printouts of emails, timestamps glaring. From Evelyn to a private investigator, dig into Mila Kowalski. Anything, debts, arrests, affairs. Leverage. Attached, a report, Mila's juvenile record expunged but unearthed, a bar scuffle from years back painted as assault, student loans in default, even a photo of Mila at a protest in Lake Worth, sign reading Love Wins. Naomi's blood ran cold. Betrayal, sharp as a stiletto. Her mother, weaponizing the past to claw her back. The envelope burned in Naomi's hand like contraband, each page a fresh wound. She drove to Mila's in a daze, the causeway lights blurring into streaks as night fell over the waterway. How could Evelyn, her rock, her confidant, stoop to this? Hiring shadows to unearth skeletons, twisting love into ammunition. It wasn't protection, it was possession. Mila was at her drafting table when Naomi burst in, the apartment alive with the scent of turpentine and takeout lo mein. Babe. You look like you saw a ghost. Worse. Naomi thrust the papers forward, voice fracturing. My mother. She hired someone. To ruin you. Mila scanned the pages, her face hardening like clay under flame. The scar above her eye twitched. Old news. The fight? Self-defense, a guy grabbed a waitress. Loans. I'm paying them off slow. The protest. Hell, that's a badge. But she twisted it. Naomi paced the worn Persian rug, past stacks of art books and a fiddle-leaf fig drooping in the corner. To scare me. To make you the villain. Mila set the report down, pulling Naomi onto the sagging couch. Hey. Breathe. This is her fear talking, not facts. But it's betrayal. Tears spilled hot. From the one person who should know better. After Dad died, she promised, we'd stick together, no matter what. Mila cupped her face, thumbs brushing away salt tracks. Families break, Naim. Mine did, Dad bailing when I came out, Mom ghosting calls. Yours is just late to the party. Her voice softened, laced with that Brooklyn grit Naomi adored. But you're not alone. You've got me. And I'm not running. They clung there, the room a cocoon against the storm. Outside, West Palm's nightlife hummed, laughter from the speakeasy downstairs, bass thumping from a passing lowrider on Tamarind. Mila hummed a snippet of Ain't No Mountain High Enough, low and off-key, until Naomi's sobs eased to hiccups. What now? She murmured. Now. We fight back. Humanely. Mila's eyes sparked. Show her the real you. Us. The plan coalesced over midnight coffee on the fire escape, city lights twinkling like distant stars. No counter-snooping, no lawyers, just truth, laid bare. Naomi drafted a letter, words flowing like catharsis, Evelyn's sacrifices acknowledged, the pain of secrecy confessed, Mila's light in her darkness illuminated. I choose love, she wrote. Not to hurt you, but to heal us all. Meet her. See for yourself. Mila added sketches, not accusations, but portraits, Evelyn as the fierce matriarch she'd glimpsed in photos, Naomi as a girl with dreams too big for boxes. It was vulnerable, a bridge extended over the chasm. Delivery was dawn at the Harper estate, Naomi slipping the envelope through the lion-head knocker, heart in her throat. Then waiting, agonizing days of radio silence, Naomi throwing herself into work, curating a small commitment ceremony for a trans couple at a Norton Sculpture Garden, the iron sculptures whispering resilience amid the ferns. The call came on a Thursday, Evelyn's voice tentative over the line. Come for tea. Bring her. Mila balked, ambush alert, but Naomi insisted. Trust me. This is our shot. The estate loomed like a Spanish Revival fortress, bougainvillea cascading over stucco walls. Evelyn waited on the veranda, iced tea sweating on a wicker tray, her face a map of lines deepened by regret. No armor today, just a simple shift and pearls, eyes red-rimmed. Mother. Naomi kissed her cheek, introducing Mila with a hand on her back. This is the woman I love. Evelyn extended a hand, cool but steady. Mila. I've. Read your file. And the letter. Mila shook it, unflinching. The real one's better. Ask Naomi. They sat amid the hum of cicadas, the lagoon a serene backdrop. Tea poured, awkward small talk about the weather, another scorcher, hurricane season lurking, gave way to the heart. Evelyn spoke first, voice quavering. I was wrong. The investigator. Desperation. After your father, I thought control would keep us safe. But it pushed you away. Naomi reached across, squeezing her hand. I get it. Scared me too. But love, Mila's love, it's not a threat. It's home. Mila chimed in, gentle. I ain't taking her from you. Just sharing the load. We're family, if you'll have us. Tears traced Evelyn's cheeks, the first Naomi had seen since the funeral. I saw the sketches. You captured him, your father, in that one by the pool. The smile I forgot. She paused, drawing breath. Forgive an old fool. The embrace was fierce, 3 generations mending under the jacaranda's purple haze. Not perfect, scars lingered, apologies echoed, but human, profoundly so. Evelyn even cracked a smile at Mila's quip about vegan key lime pie. If you can make that taste like mom's, you're in. Word spread slowly, the scandal softening to anecdote. Ethan sent a card, wishing you waves of happiness, and Naomi's business bloomed anew, bookings from couples seeking authentic joy. Mila's book deal landed, illustrations gracing pages on trailblazers like Marjorie Prime, Florida's forgotten lesbian pioneer. Months later, under a harvest moon at Carlin Park, they exchanged rings, simple gold bands etched with compass roses, surrounded by a small circle, Evelyn beaming in the front row, new friends from the scene, even Aunt Lydia, nursing a flask but clapping loud. The officiant, a local poet with salt and pepper braids, spoke of tides and truths, her words weaving through the salt air. I vow to you, Naomi said, voice clear as the surf, to chase horizons together, no maps needed. Mila's grin was sunlight. And I vow to hold you through every storm, because with you, even the rainbows are brighter. As they kissed, cheers rose, the ocean applauding with whitecaps. No grandeur like the abandoned wedding, just them, raw and radiant, in the heart of West Palm's wild embrace. In the years that followed, life unfolded like a well-loved novel, Naomi's events firm partnering with queer nonprofits, Mila's art and galleries from Delray to Wynwood. Evelyn softened, hosting brunches where stories flowed freer than mimosas. Betrayals healed into wisdom, conflicts into closer bonds. They adopted a rescue mutt named Salty, who chased gulls on the beach, and dreamed of a cottage in Gulf Stream, windows open to the trade winds. It wasn't fairy tale, no, too American for that, too laced with grit and grace. But in the quiet evenings, hands laced on the porch swing, watching fireflies dance over the dunes, Naomi knew, this was their ever after. Human, heartfelt, unbreakable.